Blind Justice versus Shooty McShooting and a very special hand. Hello everyone, welcome to my review of Daredevil Season 2. Finally, we can get to this season. I've been waiting to do this season because I've wanted to give this season a rewatch for a long time. And it is finally time for that rewatch. Now, as you may know, if you watched the Season 1 review, I am a big fan of this show. I would even go as far as to say that this is my favorite TV series or show, I guess, or whatever you want to call it. It's not necessarily a TV series, more like a streaming series, but still, it is my favorite to ever be released. I love the Daredevil Netflix stuff. However, this is the worst of what the Daredevil Netflix stuff has to offer because of the fact that we have that Iron Man 2 and Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice problem. And that problem is known as doing too much and setting up the big event. Because yes, we have the Punisher storyline in this season, which I will say right now is perfect. I loved every scene that they share on screen, Daredevil and Punisher, and even the stuff where Daredevil isn't in it but Punisher's in it is also really good. However, we also need to set up the Defenders because that will be coming out soonish as well. So let's deal with that as well. And that kind of causes the season to be a bit unfocused because the Punisher disappears for part of this season just so that we can kind of focus on the hand and everything around that. And I personally did not like that. But I did not hate it either. I liked it enough. I didn't like the fact that they did that, but like I've accepted the fact that that is what we got. More like that. So let's get into the cast, shall we? So we have Charlie Cox back as Matthew Murdock, also known as Daredevil, officially now. And this season, he really starts to distance himself from characters. And it is a story arc that continues into Defenders and into Daredevil Season 3. So this story arc is not going to be finished with this. But what I will say as a compliment is that this is the only Daredevil season where he wears the suit for the whole thing, because in Season 1 he had the black suit. This season he has this suit, and then in the next season, not gonna get into that yet because that is about 20 more reviews away. But Charlie Cox once again puts up a masterful performance as Matthew Murdock. Next up, I'm gonna go for the next big boy, Jon Bernthal as Frank Castle, also known as the Punisher. Now, you guys know about this whole thing when people get casted in certain things and the internet all has like a hype moment or like not a hype moment. Like, I don't watch enough stuff in order to get that hype moment. This was the first time I ever had that hype moment. Because during this, like before this came out, I was watching The Walking Dead. And Jon Bernthal is in that show. And he is really good in that show. So when it was revealed that Jon Bernthal would be playing the Punisher, I was excited. Because he was kind of playing that character already on The Walking Dead. So I was hyped when he was announced as the Punisher. And I can tell you this right now. He doesn't disappoint. He is so good. And what I like about him as well as like the villain of the season is that he is so different from Wilson Fisk. That is the beauty in this as well. Because technically this is the only season that really doesn't have Wilson Fisk as the bad guy. Which is actually kind of ironic because he also will appear in Daredevil Born Again. Which by the time of recording this I haven't seen yet. But he feels so different. But you also get why he does all the things that he does. Because the whole... I don't really want to talk about his storyline because that is basically the mystery behind the season of why he does it. But you get why he does it. And also, I love the interactions that he has with Daredevil. Because of the fact that Matt doesn't want anyone to die. And Punisher will blow you away. Like, just instantly. If you are a bad person, he will just grab a shotgun and pull the trigger. No questions asked. Matt wants to punch you and lock you up. So they have conflicting ideas about basically the same thing. It's like two sides of the same coin. The coin is we have to save the people. However, one kills, one doesn't. And they have a fantastic, I will say the episode number, in episode 3 of this season. They have a fantastic dialogue exchange. I will say this, every dialogue exchange these two characters have, even later on after that, is fantastic. I love them together when they are on screen together, and I love Jon Bernthal as Punisher even when he's off screen. He even gets his own hallway fight. You just have to see it to believe it, and it is so good. I love Jon Bernthal as the Punisher, and I can't wait to see his own show But we'll have to wait a bit before we get to that. Next up, we have Eldon Henson back as Foggy Nelson. And Foggy goes through a lot of development this season as well. However, he has one enemy this season. And that is the District Attorney, Samantha Reyes, who we saw at the end of Season 1 of Jessica Jones. Because basically, this is how it goes. Samantha wants to bury Punisher for reasons unknown, and Foggy kind of just wants him in prison. It's as simple as it could be. But she wants him dead, he doesn't, and they have a little fight off. And the fact that he has a backbone against, like, the whole gang, even Matt at one point has a backbone against the District Attorney. And I love seeing them stick it to powerful people. Like, Reyes can bury them if she wants, and she tries. By the way, we have Michelle Hurd as Samantha Reyes. And, well, she has a connection to Punisher. That's basically all I can say, without going into spoilers. And she's got a stick up her ass. But I love the way that the gang goes against her in that sense. Because we got multiple villains this season. But it works because you have Daredevil villain. And then you also have Matt villain kind of thing. However, the stuff that happened at the end of Season 1 with Foggy figuring out that Matt is Daredevil does play a huge role in their friendship this season and the development for Foggy that they go with him on this season. And I will say this, what they do with him, I like it, even though there are certain things that I don't like. And I will talk in the sense of Season 1. In Season 1, Foggy basically is 100% against Daredevil. Matt does not need to be Daredevil. However, look around you. Daredevil is needed. So that's the kind of thing where I'm like, look, you can back off a little bit. Come on. Next up, we have Deborah Ann Wool as Karen Page, who also goes through a bit of a storyline in this season. Now, Karen has always felt to me as the weakest of the three, but that's also because they've kind of teased her backstory a bit, but they have never really done anything with it. I mean, last season when she was about to shoot Wesley, she was like, this isn't the first time I killed someone. So there has been, like, the seeds are there, but we haven't gotten there yet. And that's why she is the weakest link, but I still like her in this season. There are things that they do with her in the season that I don't like, but her end goal, where they put her at the end of this season, I really like it, and I think it fits her character a lot. And for the final cast member that I want to talk about, who is also very important in the second storyline of this season, we have Elektra and her fight against the Hand. And well, I will say this though. Elodie Young, if I'm pronouncing that right, I probably am not, but whatever. I'm sorry, I apologize. But she's fantastic. She's really good as Elektra. I liked her in the role of Elektra. I like the banter that she has with Matthew, especially because she is kind of a spoiled brat. Let's call her that, okay? And she's also kind of toxic for Matt. She is basically forbidden fruit, and he can't stop eating, and that is a problem. But she also disrupts his life because of the fact that this is the prequel to the Defenders. So the storyline itself, well, I think that they did a good enough job with it. It did feel like, okay, we need to throw this in because of the fact that we have Defenders coming out. But I still liked her in this show because she also has a little bit of an arc that she goes on in this season. But overall, I thought this season was actually pretty good. I really liked the season. However, it is nowhere near close to Daredevil Season 1 or Jessica Jones Season 1. Sadly enough, it does not reach those heights at all. But that's because of how personal Jessica Jones Season 1 was, which is really what wins it over for me. Where it's like, yeah, that is like top tier. And Daredevil Season 1 was perfectly paced in that sense, because it was kind of paced like a video game. Because we take out each of the factions individually, before we get to the big boss himself at the top. This one felt a bit more messy because, hey, we have Punisher, and then, oh, hey, Elektra, and then we return to Punisher, and then return to Elektra, and they started to go, like, they started to split the routes a bit, and be like two separate seasons, kind of combined into one. However, I have seen people online say that this season is like a 50-50. It is not. I would call it a 75-25 thing, because for the first 4 episodes, you have nothing but the Punisher storyline. It isn't until like episode 5 where Punisher and Elektra start to kind of share the spotlight for their storylines. So it is still 75% Punisher, 25% Elektra. But I kind of wish it was just 100% Punisher, because like I said, I really love that storyline, and I think that they actually did it perfectly with the way that they handled it. I would have liked to see a little bit more, but that's why we get a Punisher Netflix show, which I also can't wait to get to, but it's gonna take us a little bit to get there, because we have the rest of the Defenders to do, because we still have like Luke Cage season 1, Iron Fist season 1, and Defenders to do before we can even get to Punisher season 1. But even then, we still got a couple of movies to do, and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. season. We got that dumb Inhuman show to do. So we got a lot to do before we can get to the Punisher. But I am very excited to get to the Punisher. So let's just get straight into that final verdict of this season. So my final verdict for Daredevil season 2 will be an 8 out of 10. Yeah, I still really enjoyed it. The tone for the show, I really liked. I loved the Punisher storyline. Elektra storyline does not ruin it enough for me. However, it does take the points away. There are also little things that take a point away, but it does like lower the score a bit. However, my personal love for this show brings it up to an 8 out of 10. So, let me know your thoughts down below. What did you think of this season? Did you love it? Did you not? What would be your final score? But with that being said, thank you all so very much for watching, and I do hope you guys have enjoyed. And if you did, please the like button, subscribe if you're new, if you're not already, turn on notifications. Don't forget to check out my Let's Play channel, link to the description and at the end of the video. And I will see you guys next time for the blackest of indestructible people. Bye!